I'm putting this Valentine's Day look up a little bit early so you don't come across it after you've already decided what you're going to put on your face that day. I asked my daughter to pick out the palette she wanted me to use for this Valentine's Day look. And not only did she do that, she set up some parameters for the rest of the makeup that I have to use on my face. If you want to see what she said I had to do and the look that I come up with, then stick around. Hi, welcome or welcome back. I'm Tina, and I'm really glad that you decided to spend a little bit of your time with me today. The palette that my daughter chose for me to use today is the BH Cosmetics Summer in Saint-Tropez. And I was really glad she picked this because I haven't used it very much, but it has some beautiful colors in there. She did tell me I had to stick with the pinks, and so it is going to be a traditional Valentine's Day look. And then she told me that everything else that I used on my face had to either be pink or be in pink packaging. And that was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. There's only one category that I couldn't make that work for, and I didn't ask if it was okay to use it anyway, so I'm just going to. It doesn't matter to me how you're celebrating Valentine's Day or if you're celebrating it at all. You might be celebrating it with your sweetie or with friends or with your kids or just you and yourself watching TV. This look is going to be one you can wear anytime. The first product going on my face is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Primer. And this obviously is pink packaging, not pink product because the product itself is clear. Although, you know what? I think it does have a little bit of a pink tint. So this is just going everywhere. And this one is not from when they just recently did the restock and then sold out like immediately. This one's actually from when it was out before, but I got it on clearance, so it'd been out for a while. I really do like this primer. In fact, this might be the second one of these. And then they came out with the gripping primer that replaced this one, but I kind of think I like this better than the gripping primer. Then I'm going to use the Essence Poreless Partner Primer, mattifying and blurring with niacinamide. I got this when I did a full face of Essence not too very long ago. It's kind of a creamy gel texture, and I really do like this primer. It's very lightweight. I think that it's alcohol-free, and I think it might actually be silicone-free. I tried to look at the ingredients, but they're so tiny that I really can't. And so if I'm wrong about that, I will correct it on the screen. So I rub that in, and then I just kind of pat to press it in to my pores. It gives a little bit of a tacky finish, so it also helps to grip your makeup. For foundation, obviously I'm not going to use a pink foundation, but I do have one that has a pink lid, and this is the Essence Keep Me Covered Long-Lasting Foundation, again from that full face of Essence. And I might have to rewatch the video because I don't actually remember what I thought of it. And I'll probably just have to pin a comment and update you all. So I'm just going to dab that around and blend it in with my sponge. We don't actually do much for Valentine's Day. We never have. We have kind of boycotted, for lack of a better word, those Hallmark holidays and tend to just stay home. I might fix something nice for supper. Maybe make a dessert. We don't have dessert every night, so if I make a dessert, it's kind of a special occasion. But this year, actually, it is Ash Wednesday, and so we will actually be in church. I put about 1.5 pumps on my palette, and I still have some left there, and I think it's given me really good coverage and a really pretty finish. So, pretty happy with that so far. I haven't been sleeping very well. For some reason, I'm waking up at like 4 or 5 in the morning and then not being able to go back to sleep. And so I really wanted to use a corrector, but she almost didn't let me because I didn't have one that was in pink. But she told me that my hard candy corrector was close enough. It's in this peach packaging. So I am going to use that today. And this is one of those that you open it by turning and then you squeeze up the product. And I hate them because they get so messy. I have corrector everywhere. This is actually almost gone. I didn't realize I'd use that much of it. And then it's a good idea to remember to close them. But, I mean, you can see the lid. It's just a mess. And then I just dab it in with my fingers. This does a good job of covering those extra dark circles and the extra darkness in the inner portion of my eye when I haven't slept well. It's not quite as emollient as the e.l.f. and the Bobbi Brown, so I tend to have a little less issue with it creasing than I do with those two. You also want to make sure that you have patted this in really well, warmed it up with your fingers before you put your concealer on top, because that will also help to prevent the creasing. If you have too much product, that's when it's going to crease. For the concealer, we're going with the Essence Keep Me Covered Concealer. I have these in Shell and Alabaster. I actually have the foundation in Shell and Alabaster as well. Alabaster in the foundation is way too light for me, so I use Shell. But Shell in the concealer is a little bit dark, and Alabaster is a little bit light. So I'm going to mix them. The easiest way to do that is just take that doe foot and squeeze a little bit off onto my palette. Do the same thing with the other color right next to it. And then just mix them there. I use my ring finger to mix, dab off a little of the excess on my hand so that I don't go in with too much. And then just put on what I need. So how about you guys? What's your feeling on Valentine's Day? Do you do gifts and all of that kind of stuff? Do you just ignore it? Somewhere in between? Let me know down in the comments. And then I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. concealer sponge and make sure I don't have any excess product sitting in those lines and wrinkles. Kind of opening up, making sure that I can see them. And giving it a little bit of a dab. And then blending those edges into the foundation. For my powder, I have this new Physicians Formula Butter Glow pressed powder in Translucent Glow. And I'm going to use this because, presuming I were going on a date, I might want to have that candlelit glow. And I want to try this and see if it gives me that. I haven't used this yet. This was given to me in friend mail by Kim. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate it. This is one that I've really been wanting to try, so I was very excited to see it in that package. She almost didn't let me use this because it's kind of peach instead of pink, but it's the pinkest of the powder compacts that I have. So she let it slide. And I'm not sure if I'm going to like it, but I am going to go ahead and use it under my eyes as well. I know sometimes if something is too glowy, it might actually emphasize your lines and wrinkles, but sometimes it also bounces light off of it and takes the emphasis away from it. So we'll see what this one does. So far, I think it might actually be making it look a little dry. I might have to put a little setting spray on a sponge and kind of tamp that down a little bit. But we're going to go in with a fluffier brush then. And because all of my other products are powders, I'm going to go ahead and just powder the rest of my face. And see what this does. Does anybody use this powder? What do you think of it? I think that's really pretty. What do you guys think? Yeah. For those of you who might be new here, I am married. My husband and I have been married for 33 years last fall. And we have 4 children, 2 children-in-laws, and 1 grandchild. So our Valentine story started quite a long time ago. Oh, for bronzer, by the way, I'm using the Flower Heatwave bronzer. And this one passed the test because it's a rosy tone bronzer. This is so pretty, and it looks really, really nice, I think, on my pale skin because it bronzes me up to the color that I usually will get if I get some sun. And I may have gone in a little hard on that bronzer, so we're going to blend a little bit when I'm done with this. I'm going to take that sponge that I have my foundation on still and just kind of blend the edges. I get a little carried away sometimes when I'm talking and not paying attention to what I'm doing. Okay, now speaking of needing to pay attention to what I'm doing, this Rouge Romance, this is a Jaclyn Cosmetics product, and again, it came in that friend mail from Kim, and it has some super pretty pink blushes in there, but they are very, very pigmented. These 2 are my leading contenders for a blush to go with the eye look that I'm going to do, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to do, and I think I might wait till the eyes are done to decide on which blush I'm going to use so that I get the one that matches the eyes the best. Before I do my eyes, I'm going to do my eyebrows, and this is the one that I didn't have anything that met the pink criteria. So I'm going to do this off camera and pretend I didn't cheat. I even looked to see if I had a pink palette that had a brown eyeshadow in it I could use, but everything I saw was way too warm. So we'll just pretend that that didn't happen. So as I said, I'm going to be using the BH Cosmetics Summer in Saint-Tropez. These travel palettes are so good. The formula is so good. I wish they were still making palettes with this formula, but I don't think they are. Once Revolution took them over, for some reason, they had this amazing formula in their hands, and it seems that they're choosing not to use it. The first thing I'm going to do is go into Villa right here. And it looks really pigmented, so I am going to tap a little of that off and go in with it for a transition. And I'm just going to dab that in and then go in with circles. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for a Valentine look. I kind of toyed around with doing something like deep and smoky or a grungy pink, non-traditional Valentine. And then I asked my daughter if she wanted to pick it. And so I just let her do whatever she wanted. And she said she wanted it very pink. So that's what we'll do. Now I'm a little scared about this one, but I am actually going to go into Sizzle down here. This is a very deep pink. And I'm going to use I'm going to use a little bit of a denser but still fluffy brush. I don't want to get, oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's not too bad. Okay. it was worse on the brush than I thought it was going to be. It's actually really pretty. I have a feeling this is going to stain my brush. I want to get a little bit more pigmented and deep into that crease, so I'm using a flat shader brush and kind of going in more, just right there on this outer corner. Try to build it up a little bit. It actually sheared out. I mean, I know it doesn't look sheer now, and I know that I have blending to do, so trust the process. Taking a clean blending brush, and I'm going to work on blending a little while. I may not show you all the blending because that just gets boring. But I will show you the before blending and the after blending. Be right back. So when you're blending, have a color switch or a towel or something so that you can wipe off your brush and then go back in, because as you can see, it's picking up a lot of that shadow, and you don't want to have the first eye blended well because your brush was clean and the second eye not. And then I'm going to go back into that first brush and just kind of go over those edges again to blend those two colors together a little more seamlessly. Now this palette doesn't really have a deep color in there. I may try to use this navy in the outer corner in a minute, but we'll see. But right now what I'm going to do is take Super Yacht on my finger and put that on my lid. It's kind of a pinky purple. Ooh, that's really pretty. Hopefully it doesn't break the rules of sticking with the pinks. It's pretty pink. I think it'll be okay. I do have to be careful though. I got it a little far down on my finger, and so I'm going to wipe that off and go in more with like on the tip of my finger. Oh man, that's a pretty shimmer. And then I'm going to take Marina and go in the inner third and brighten it up and blend it together. Those are pretty colors, you guys. Ooh, those are pretty. I should have done I gotta do my other finger. That was a little awkward. Very pretty. I may have to do a little cleanup work here because it did kind of get a little lower than I usually like it to do. I'm going to take another flat shader brush and just pull in the tiniest little bit of that navy. I'm even going to tap some of that off and just pull it in on the outer corner. I just want to deepen that up a little bit and pull it, because I don't want any pink under my eye. I know that. I may regret this. We'll see. All right, I kind of regret the blue a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of Sizzle, and then also a little of Nightlife, and see if I can tone down that blue and make it more purpley. You know, red and blue makes purple, right? We'll see what happens. Making a mistake isn't always a take it off and start over situation. Oftentimes, you can rescue it. What is the... Oh! Oh my gosh! I was like, why do I have purple all over my face? Remember that crystal lamp I talked about in my last video? Well, it is creating... Or is it this? I don't know if it's this lamp or my bedside lamp, but something is reflecting purple across my face. So let me turn this off. Nope, it's still there. So give me a second while I fix my lamp situation. Is it gone? Oh, I think it is. Oh my goodness. I thought I really messed something up there. I'm like, how did I get purple on my face? Anyway. All right, so I think this is better. I'm always worried when I work with these colors that I'm going to look like I just have a black eye. And it's just a big bruise. I'm going to pink it back up a little bit. All right, I refreshed my shimmers because sometimes after a lot of blending, you'll lose some of your shimmer. So I just put a little bit more of both shimmers on. And I think I like what I have there now. I am going to take just the tiniest little bit of my concealer just on the outer edge here to kind of clean up. And like I said, make it look less like it's bruised and more like it's just eyeshadow. And then again, this little sponge is helpful. I think eyeliner, mascara, and lashes are going to help because it will make it look less pink. They'll be a little bit more dark there. This one I did get special dispensation to use, and that's the BH Power Pencil in warm brown. And I'm going to tightline with this right underneath the lash line. There's one eye, you don't have to watch the other one. And the second BH Power Pencil I'm going to use is Shimmer Pearl. There's not a whole heck of a lot left of this one. And I am going to put this in the lower waterline to brighten it up. I like using a brighter shade on my lower waterline because I think it helps open the eyes up and make you look a little more awake. I'm going to take a second and curl my lashes. And then for lashes, I'm going to use the Maybelline Sky High. I have really been liking this mascara, and it's in a pink tube, so it fits the theme. It has that kind of Christmas tree wand that I really like. It's a little bit flexible, and I just seem to get along better with this kind of wand. This is what's in the Thrive Cosmetics. It's what's in the e.l.f. Lash Extender. This, for me, is not a tubing mascara. I've heard some people describe it as such, but it does not remove like a tubing mascara. I have to use my cleansing balm. That is one coat on each eye. I'm going to do the second coat, and I'll be right back. I think it's really remarkable what putting on the mascara can do to help a look. I was feeling like this was really overpowering, and now I don't feel like it is. I am actually going to put on false lashes today, but the mascara needs to set. So while that's happening, let's get back to the cheeks. And I think I want to go with Fantasy. I think this is going to be too much with the eyes. I think I'll end up looking like a clown. So I'm going to do the lighter one and see where we end up. So let's go into Fantasy. I've dabbed in, and then I also dabbed off a little bit onto my palette. But I think it's going to be okay. That's really pretty. I don't think it's too much at all. No, I like it. I am going to use my sponge again to blend. And my highlighter is from Koki. It's the Soft Glow highlighter in Rosy, and it is a rosy pink. This is the only cream product I'm using, by the way, so Oh. I think that's a little too rose gold. I'm actually going to do a substitution on this one. And I'm going to use my Hendayan diamond highlighter from Temu. And this one is definitely more of an icy pink. So we're going with that. And I have a little fan brush I'm going to use for it. Right on the tops of my cheeks. Yes, I like that better. Maybe a little up here. I'm going to blend with my fingers. Yes, I like that better. The lashes I'm going to use are from BK Beauty and Zeesea Does Makeup. I don't know what possessed me to spend this much on a pair of half lashes. These are the Martini lashes, and I bought the half ones because they were cheaper than the full ones. But I just was really curious to see if there was a difference in an expensive lash versus the Amazon half lashes that I've been using. These are in a project, and I have thoughts on these. You'll have to wait for the Panning Cats and Dogs 2 update coming up later in the month to hear those thoughts, though. So these are, like I said, they're half lashes. There's a short end and a longer end. The short end goes kind of in the middle, and the long end goes to the outside. Half lashes tend to be, let me put some glue on here while I'm chatting. Just going to cover that band with some glue, and then I'm going to let it sit for about 30 seconds. You kind of want it to get a little bit less opaque. You can see there, maybe it's kind of white. You want it to look just a little bit clear. So kind of chill and hang out for about 30 seconds. Makes it tacky so that when you go to put it on your eye, it sticks and doesn't just slide all over the place. So we're going to let it set for a minute. What I was going to say is I like half lashes because they're easier to put on. You're not trying to get as long of a strip to adhere, and what tends to happen for me anyway is you get the outside stuck and the inside pops up, and then you get the inside stuck and the outside pops up because you're going over the curve more, whereas this one you're just doing half the curve, and so it's a little bit straighter and there's just less to wrangle with. So if you're having trouble with full lashes, maybe try a half lash. All right, so I am going to take my tweezers here, and a 10x mirror for me is essential. And going to I put down the outside first so that I know where it needs to be to fit. The other one's probably going to be easier for you to see me putting it on. I guess I could have turned and done it this way. All right, I got one on, and so now I'm going to do the other one and let it get tacky. I'm having some decaf iced coffee. I use a Silk almond milk vanilla creamer that is so good. Don't use very much of it, and then I use just more almond milk to make it creamier because otherwise it gets really sweet. And I can cut the amount of sugar that's in there too by using just a smaller amount of the creamer. All right, I think this guy's ready to go on. It does help me to hold the lashes with a tweezer and to help with a small tweezer. The big ones, like the lash tweezers, get in the way. I can't see what I'm doing, but this one is small enough that I can see what's going on. And so then we will put this on, sticking on the outer edge first, and then working across to the inner edge. Like that. Since my light wasn't the culprit in the shadows across my face, I decided I should turn it back on. All right, I felt like they weren't even, so I took this one off and redid it. I think it was a little bit further to the corner than the other one was. So anyway, I think they're pretty even now. Sometimes you just got to fiddle with them a little bit. And if it's difficult for you, sometimes having a liner glue pen makes it easier, even if it's just to add just a tiny bit more glue to the edges so that they stick down better. Before I do my lips, I'm going to use some setting spray. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter. It's not pink, but it's purple. Maybe it's okay. And of course, I already combed my hair and fixed my bangs. But if you are going to go out for Valentine's Day, you definitely want your makeup to last the whole night, right? So, here we go. And like I said, I'm going to put just a little bit of this on my sponge and go under my eyes in particular, because I think it will make them look less dry. Last thing I need to complete the look is lip. I started out with the Essence Juicy Balm Shiny Lip Gloss on. I always like putting something on my lips when I first start getting ready, because then by the time I get to lipstick, my lips are nice and hydrated. But I'm going to take that off. I'm going to use the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in Starship to line my lips. These are super creamy. I really like these lippy pencils. And then the lippy sticks from ColourPop in Peyton. This is a matte shade. It's actually a little bit warmer pink than I thought it was. I thought it was going to be a little bit more bubblegum Barbie pink.
But I don't think it's going to matter.
Because I'm going to put the Anastasia Beverly Hills gloss over it. I don't actually like this lipstick. Alright, I'm trying this again. I've got the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in Heart On, and it's a little bit more of a purpley pink. I hate that they come out like that, but slide them back in, and it still works. It's still creamy, doesn't smell bad, so I'm not concerned about it. Oh, that's going to be so much better. Just had the tones off on that other one. Now, I don't know if this lipstick is going to work. I'm hoping that it does. This is Wet n Wild Secret Muse. It's not the matte or the gloss. It's just kind of an older one. But it's more just a traditional bullet. And yes, I think that is so much better. That is a really comfortable lip formula. Wow. This isn't a color I use very often. I'm just cleaning up the edges a little. Oh, that's so much better. And even though I'm really a gloss girl, I don't think I'm going to put a gloss over this. I think there's enough shine here, and that it doesn't compete with the eyes, which are pretty shiny. Maybe you don't have plans for Valentine's Day, but if you need a Barbie look, this one will work for that too. I'm going to link a couple more Valentine's Day looks from past years over here. If you have some time, you can check those out. If not, I will see you in the next video. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Bye-bye.